3 gut instincts that you shouldn't ignore that potentially get you into trouble. What are they? Well, if you keep watching the video, I'll explain them all. So, Jack, what do you think they are?
I wouldn't be able to break down what they are. I just know that I have these gut instincts that flare up when something's going wrong. If I go somewhere I'm not familiar with maybe, or there's a guy that looks dodgy, that's the things that set off my alarm bells.
So this is what we call intuition. You can categorize your intuition into 3 areas. Let's start with the first one.
Okay.
People. You usually get a gut feeling about people. You have a sense of intuition about them. And what triggers that sometimes is body language. Can you give me an idea? What do you think?
For me, it's either someone looking too hidden and suspicious in their body language, they're hiding away from people, or the opposite. They're very open, they're very bolshy. Maybe they're sort of wading through a crowd and, I don't know, even maybe looking right at you, beelining. So
this is why your gut instincts are even more important. So how people are behaving around you, their body language. So that's one indicator that you should be trying to pay attention to test whether your gut instinct is working for you or not. What about what they say?
Yeah, the way someone presents themselves when they approach you, if they come and speak to you, that would definitely, if it doesn't feel right, it's going to make me feel uneasy.
Yeah, so if someone walks up to you and asks you the time, how would you feel about that?
I want to believe it would be fine. It would be normal. Oh, what's the time? But then instantly the back of my head's going to be going, why doesn't he know the time? Why is he coming to ask me? What's this, you know?
Exactly. The last thing I always say is boundaries. People tend to, especially people that are predators, or predators in the sense that's what we're talking about, cross boundaries. So, boundaries.
Okay, so they invade my personal space, or maybe they just cross a line in a verbal sense. Maybe they say something that I find to be...
Yeah, they try teaming up with you. They try to manipulate you with verbal cues or verbal language. So that's something you need to be aware of. But boundaries also are physical as well. They get too close. They try to manipulate their way into your personal space. So asking the time is a classic one. I mentioned that earlier. But someone gets close to you and they can ask you the time close up.
Yeah.
But they can't stand on the other side of the street and ask you the time. So people will manipulate their entry into your personal space.
Okay.
And predators, and this is the thing, predators have a good opportunity to do that if you allow them, if you engage them in conversation. A second gut instinct that you really need to pay attention to is places. It's an area where we will have a gut instinct, an intuition, a sense of feeling uncomfortable with. Atmosphere of a place, what do you think?
I can usually tell when the atmosphere of a place has changed, especially from working in bars. As you said, that's a real hot spot. Working in bars for years, you can tell when something's either just about to change or it's changed or changing. You know, you get that sense where everybody, it's like when it goes, not quiet literally, but yeah, almost like everything stops.
It's almost as if the air goes cold, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, people talk about feeling it on the back of your neck. That
your hair stand up. Well, that is a gut instinct. I mean, that's a sense of intuition. Once you start to get a physical reaction to what's happening around you, there's also that you've got to take that. You've got to take that seriously. That is a major indicator. If you're starting to feel your heart rate's quickening, and there's no reason for it to be there. If you start to breathe a little bit more, okay, your heart's palpitating, then your body subconsciously is telling you,
don't ignore me.
Yeah, something's going on. I'm feeling a little bit anxious here. Something's not right. So the last area of intuition that will normally kick in is proximity. Sometimes referred to as proxemics, but the idea is how close people are within the street, within the place, within the environment. So you've got people, places, proximity. How close are they to you? That's sometimes an area where your personal gut instinct, your intuition will kick in.
Yeah.
So again, a guy comes up to you, asks you the time, but he's within your personal space. Maybe he's broadsided you to the side. So he's approached you to the side. He hasn't come face to face with you. Because if you're to the side, you're a little bit weaker. And if you had to suddenly respond or act, it'd be difficult for you to do that. And that's an issue of proxemics. Now, do your instincts kick in at that point? Is this something where you've got a gut reaction to?
I always feel if someone's come too close to me, and that's because I think we all have a personal space bubble that we like to have and we feel comfortable with. Not with friends and family, that can be much closer, but if a stranger is too close behind you maybe, or you can sense that, I tend to have an awareness of it, even if I don't know something.
And I think everybody does, because it's quite natural to have a personal bubble. Everybody has it. We know that. There's lots of studies and there's lots of science behind that. My point is that it's easily manipulated.
Yes,
and
of
people
course.
can get within that personal space by manipulating their way in through conversation. I use the example of asking the time, but there's lots of different ways that you can do that, and I don't want to educate predators on this channel, so therefore I'm not going to go through them. So if you want to find out more information about that, check out some of our personal training. But the point is that what you want to do is you want to acknowledge that something's not right, follow your intuition. So the takeaway is that you have to take into account people, places, proximity, and they all interact to give you a gut reaction that triggers your instincts. So pay attention to them, be aware, they are crucial for your self-defense.